The mouse was a genius. It was born with a nose sharper than a dog's. Even a piece of cheese picked from the trash. One sniff, and it knew. This was top-quality stuff from a century-old shop. With a light whiff, it could tell every single ingredient used in a cake. It often snuck into the old lady's house to secretly learn cooking from a master chef. But one day, it saw on TV that its idol, the great chef, had taken his own life after a harsh review from a food critic. Then, the old lady noticed a mouse in her kitchen. She grabbed her shotgun and started firing like crazy. The mouse panicked, darting all over the place, and leapt onto the chandelier. The old lady took aim and fired again, but instead of one mouse, a whole swarm of them rained down from the ceiling. The other mice scattered in terror, but this one ran the other way. It had to save the chef's cookbook. When it finally dragged the heavy book outside, its family was already gone. Then it slipped and fell straight into the sewer. There, the mouse began studying the chef's recipes, when suddenly, the chef in the book started to move. Could it be the chef's spirit guiding him? The mouse climbed out of the sewer, up to the rooftops, and realized it had reached the city. Right there in front of him was the legendary chef's restaurant. Overjoyed, the mouse rushed over, peeked through the window, and saw a man recklessly dumping spices into a pot. To save the soup, the anxious mouse slipped and fell right into the kitchen. While the man wasn't looking, it got to work. First, the 7-step hand wash, then a few cloves of garlic, a drizzle of corn oil for smooth texture, a splash of milk to enhance flavor, and finally, the perfect seasoning. Just as the dish was about to be complete, the man turned around. A mouse was cooking soup. He was stunned, and right then, the head chef walked in. He saw the man by the stove and started yelling furiously, but before he could stop it, the soup had already been served. If the guest complained, the restaurant's reputation would be ruined, and that guest was none other than a world-famous food critic. Everyone held their breath. Then, unexpectedly, she smiled and said the soup was delicious. She gave it a glowing review. The head chef had no choice but to let the man go, but ordered him to remake the same soup the next day, or he'd be fired. Just then, the chef spotted the mouse. He grabbed a mop and swung, but the man quickly hid the mouse inside a jar. The chef told him to get rid of it, but when the man was alone, he couldn't bring himself to do it. He took the mouse home instead, and to his shock, discovered that this little mouse could talk, and even more incredible, it could cook.